pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before we move for approval of the agenda, I do have a couple changes I'd like to make to it as well. I'm just going to move up a couple recognitions because I know a couple golfers who've got to be somewhere else real fast. And then also move items 10.1 and 13.2 directly after recognitions and before Mr. Sparks and his presentation. So benefits everyone except for Mr. Sparks. But I know he doesn't mind waiting.
Mr. Mayor, can I add something to that? I was actually going to do the exact same thing, except for also add 13.3 right after that 13.2 moving this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to make the motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion made by Councilman Schmidt, seconded by Councilman Jeter to approve the agenda as it's been altered. Any additional comments? Seeing none, council, please vote. Sorry about that. It does pass unanimously. If we could have our two wonderful superstar golfers come on up to the podium along with your families if they're here as well. We have Mason Dean Hampton and Tinley Sharon. Are you both here? Come on up right there to the podium.
I'll take Tinley.
Oh, I got you. All right. Well, we have want to recognize you. Two Fort Walton Beach Golf Club members who were part of the 4-player golf team that won first place for the second consecutive year at the First Tee National Tournament in New Orleans, along with outstanding individual performances. Mason finished second overall on the boys' side. So we have a certificate of recognition for him and a big old round of applause for your achievement, Mason. You get that? If you want to come stand right up here, we'll get a picture with our board here. Oh, sure. Absolutely, yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome. Congratulations. Awesome job. I know she's not here, but Tinley Sharon, girls first overall as well at the First Tee National Tournament in New Orleans. So big round of applause for Tinley. I'm sure Jacob can get that certificate to her, correct? And then we have two ACE Award winners tonight as well. Awesome standout kids here in our community. First from Choctaw High School, Mackenzie Moeller, if you're here, Mackenzie. Do we have Mackenzie tonight? There she is. And if you have mom or dad with you as well, please invite them up, or anybody that's with you that you want to bring up. So Miss Mackenzie Moeller exemplifies civic excellence through her exceptional academic performance, impressive work ethic, handicraft skills, and community service. Ranked 8th in her class with a 4.63 GPA, Mackenzie is renowned for her involvement in church and community outreach groups. Ms. Moeller also boasts an inspiring record as a student of the dual enrollment program. Mackenzie counts building a school in Columbia. I had to read that twice, I almost didn't believe it. Building a school in Columbia, cleaning hurricane debris, and providing for society's most vulnerable among her proudest achievements. Ms. Moeller's work experience is vast, with time spent as a retail associate, babysitter, pool cleaner, and file scanner. She inspires peers through her multitasking, efficiency, and hardworking nature. Congratulations, Mackenzie. And Mackenzie, while you're up there, why don't you inform us about your future plans that you know, if any?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Mississippi State and major in interior design.
Awesome. Fantastic. And we have this certificate for you. Bring mom and dad up and we'll all get a picture together. Thanks. Congratulations. All right, and Bradley Buckthall. Do we have Bradley Buckthall? There he is. Come on up. Mr. Bradley Buckthall embodies civic excellence through impressive academic achievement, compelling extracurriculars, robust work experience, and various awards. With a weighted GPA of 4.73 and a class rank of number 3, he has distinguished himself in dual enrollment and AP courses while also being recognized as a Viking Scholar and a recipient of the Ann T. Mitchell Award. As a member of the National Honor Society, Eagle Scouts, Fishing Club President, JV Cross Country Captain, and an Okaloosa County Youth Leadership Council member, Bradley has had a serious effect on the improvement of our local academic community. Additionally, he has work experience shadowing orthopedic trauma surgeons. Look at you, man. Good Lord. Assistant scout mastering and oh my goodness. He's involved with youth leadership efforts as well. It's not coming out of my mouth. He extols the highest virtues of civic responsibility. Congratulations, Brad. Future plans for you, sir?
I plan on attending University of Florida and going pre-medical major and hopefully getting into med school in the future.
Fantastic, man. Awesome. Come on up here for this.
Thanks.
Congratulations, sir. All right. And for our final excellent young person in the community, Mr. Walker has a presentation.
Yes. Today we're going to recognize Andrew Dolly for earning the rank of Eagle Scout. So Andrew, if you and your parents would come up and get you this and hear a little bit about here we go. Tell us about what you got.
So here I have my Eagle Scout project, which is where I constructed 2 chess tables in Ferry Park. I believe that it is a very good addition to our community, and I hope that I can give back to my community as much as I can. So as you can see on the first slide here, this is my artist rendition of what the project would have looked like. This is the first visual of what I depicted or what came to mind when I thought of the project. This is what the site looked like before and when we started construction for the Eagle Scout project. As you can see, it's right there nestled in between the 2 playgrounds there in Ferry Park, and that's us beginning the construction of leveling it to a 2% grade. That's me there in that photo on the right and on the left of putting crushed limestone in the foundation of where our concrete pad will go, which is what goes underneath our chess tables in the park. This is where we were constructing 2 rebar pillars or supports, so our pedestals holding the chess table could not tilt or wobble as we are playing the game. This is pouring the concrete, which was helped by concrete contractor Kyle Ramsey. We were pouring the concrete in our form, and that's me on the upper right, evening out the concrete along with him, and on the bottom right, that is our finished product. This is how we made the chess boards. We constructed a mold at first, and we put the tiles upside down in the mold, and put special rebar reinforcements inside of the mold to make sure that it can attach to the pedestal in the right way. So those are the supports that I was talking about, and on the image on the right, that's how the supports and how the tabletop connected to the base. This is when we unmolded our first one. That's what it looked like on the very left, on the bottom left. That's what it looked like when we first took the top off of it. And in the middle, that's what it looked like after we took the rest of it off. And that's me on the bottom right, sanding down the table so it would be smooth. This is where me and the scouts came in. We constructed the benches and we cut forms that we needed to pour the concrete pillar, and that's us pouring the concrete on the right side. We put the concrete chest tabletop inside of the pedestal while it was still wet, so they would attach to each other. In the middle, that is us drilling in the holes that we'll use to attach to the bench. That is me with my plaque that is inside of the concrete chest table, or inside of the concrete base, and that is inside of the concrete pad. That's the before, and the next slide is the after of what it looks like in the.
Andrew, if you want to come up here,
Yes.
and Mom and Dad and Scoutmasters. Yes. Oh, there you are. Yes, there you are. I want to say this. And Bradley, because you're in Andrew's troop too, why don't you come up too? Get in there, get in there.
Oh, and Mr. Gable. Absolutely.
Mr. Walker,
I've got a lot of support here.
microphone, so it'll be recorded.
Where is the microphone? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's gone. Is this everyone?
I think so.
Well, I don't want to take just a minute to speak about Mr. Andrew and his obtaining the Eagle Scout from the time he contacted me. Must have been back July of 25, and the several times I've met with him and talked with him about his planning and execution of the plan that he had there for the chess sets that he's made. He has just been an incredible, persistent guy, overcoming problems and obstacles in his way all along the way, and he performed it excellently. So congratulations there, and I know that obtaining let me see, there's your Eagle Scout, there's your certificate there. And also today, while we're recognizing you for this, we're also recognizing you for another special moment today. Today's your birthday, correct?
It is my birthday, yes.
Ah, wow. And so while I know you have many badges that you have there, and now with the completion of your Eagle Scout, I hope you'll stay involved in the Scouts and lead others to that place as well. But also would like to deliver you a little something just as a birthday present for today, and you can carry that one with you throughout adulthood. Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, if I would too, and I want to thank all of the staff. I know that the rec department, Jason, all of you participated in helping Mr. Dolly bring that together. Wow, what a crowd. Eagle Scout, that's huge, man.
All right, well, that brings us to item 6 on our agenda, presentations. Mr. Nathan Sparks, Executive Director of One Okaloosa Economic Development Council. I'm sorry, what? Huh? Oh, yeah, you're right, my bad. I'm sorry, Nathan, I tried to cheat back, but forgot what I even did myself. Some what? Oh, okay. First time caller, long time listener. All right, so it brings us to item 10.1. Resolution 2026-02. Mr. Burns, you need to read that one? Ms. Neighbors? Okay. Ms. Neighbors.
Thanks, Mayor. Just as a little background, as you guys know, on October 28th of 2025, The council awarded the rec expansion complex to Gum Creek Farms in the total of $7,059,312.75, and you authorized staff to issue a competitive solicitation to secure the debt financing that we discussed. We engaged with PFM, who we are contracted with, to propose issuance of the Capital Improvement Revenue Note in Series 2026 in an amount not to exceed $7.5 million. I know that's a little bit above the awarded amount for Gum Creek Farms, but I wanted to put a little bit of cushion in there just in case there's change orders, which we all know usually happen, and to be able to furnish the expansion itself. PFM actually distributed the request for proposals, or the RFP, on November 17th of 2025, and we received seven proposals from the following institutions: from Capital One, Hancock Whitney, Origin Securities, Regions, Truist, Trustmark, and Webster Bank. Based on PFM's review and discussions with us and also with bond counsel, it was determined that Webster Bank provided the best combination of the interest rate and terms most favorable for the city. Webster Bank proposed a fixed interest rate of 4.08%, and this rate is valid through January 30th of 2026. Therefore, staff respectfully recommends City Council adoption of Resolution 2026-2 to allow for reimbursement of costs incurred prior to the issuance of any tax-exempt debt instrument for the new recreation expansion complex, as well as authorization for staff to move forward with Webster Bank and execute all required loan documentation. We have obviously our city attorney, our bond counsel, and then also PFM is on, poor things got stuck in the storm and we're not able to get here, but they are on Teams for any specific questions regarding the loans.
Thank you, Ms. Neighbors. Questions for Ms. Neighbors or JB or NR? Councilman Schmidt.
The ink drive, we're still good with the deal with the Terrace Development Department on helping fund this?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you.
Additional questions? Seeing none, anyone from the public wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, council, you wish to take any action?
Mayor, so move staff's recommendation.
Motion made by Councilman Schmidt, seconded by Councilman Jeter to approve Resolution 2026-02 to allow for reimbursement of costs incurred prior to the issuance of any tax-exempt debt, and what Ms. Neighbors described. Any additional comments?
Absolutely, yeah. I know funding any projects is going to have its yeas and nays, but at this level of a project, this board's been discussing this project for a while, and just want to thank Councilman Jeter, who sits on that Tourist Development Department board, as well as Nicole and our finance team and city manager, on working with our friends from the county and the Tourist Development Department. It's going to be funding a very substantial, large amount of this program. And anytime we have an opportunity to expand parks, it's always a good opportunity. And at this level, really excited about it. So hopefully the board supports it.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Jeter.
Yes, sir. This is a great project that's been a long time coming, so thank you for staying with it, all of staff. It's been many, many years, but it's a great project that is glad to finally see happening, and it's going to be great for the community, so thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Seeing none, council, please vote. Motion does pass 6-1. I would just like to add at the end as well, Ms. Barnes, Mr. Davis, if and when that project finally comes to fruition and opens up, and we put one of those great city plaques on it that recognizes a lot of people that were involved in the project, I think it should definitely go back as far as the council years and years ago that decided to vote not to sell the property, because I think that was a really important vote, which I was on the wrong side of in retrospect, but there were a lot of people that saw it all the way through, and otherwise without that we wouldn't have that property to make these fields, so I'd like to recognize them as well. That brings us to item 13.2. If you're following along at home, you'll have to flip a page. 13.2, solid waste 2-day residential garbage pickup proposal is the heading. Mr. Daniel Payne, we know him as Mr. Solid Waste, here to give us a presentation.
Before he starts, I just want to kind of run through some projects for everybody to digest. One, I want to thank Matt Beatty and Tim to turn over those records as quickly as they did so we could put the presentation together and compare the other cities as requested by council. So that was cool. Two sides of the coin, right? If we're talking about keeping it in-house or outsourcing. So if we keep it in-house, we know we already have a great team, right? I call Jerry and he's like, dude, got you. And whatever we send him out, he'll pick up a couch that day, right? So that immediate response, I don't know that you'd get that same experience with a vendor that we wouldn't be billed for, right? So that would go away. And I think you'll see Daniel's presentation between him, Jerry, and his team. They're great presentations. Also, probably the best price point. And then, flip that coin over. I mean, I guess we're technically competing with private sector, so something to take into consideration. If we want to be a risk-averse operation, it's a dangerous job, right? It's heavy equipment, stuff catches on fire, explosives, whatever. So it takes away that risk management concern, whether it's property or personnel. That being said, if we get out of the business, we're never going to be able to take it back in. It's, we have 14, 15 of these trucks. They're $500,000 a piece, 8,000 dumpsters, and so on and so forth. So just urging council to kind of weigh both the options and see where we go with that. But I do support the presentation they've done. They've done a fantastic job. So, Daniel.
Mayor and Council, Daniel Payne, Public Works Utility Services Director. Tonight, we were asked to come in front of you, I think back at the December 16th meeting, to come and bring a proposal together for a potential 2-day-a-week residential garbage pickup, I should say. And having doing so, you have a staff report in front of you. We do have a presentation to kind of go through since some of this stuff was outstanding at that time of posting. So this is one of our employees, Steve. He was on the employee recognition. I thought it was fitting. Steve was not able to make it tonight because he works 2 jobs, but he's one of our solid waste operators on that side. The objectives that we had is basically, in the point of this presentation, is to inform you about our current pickup, explain the alternatives that we have, and then provide a staff recommendation for moving forward after this. Some of these commonly used terms that we float around, 111, 211, it really is the pickup schedule. 111 is once a week trash, yard waste, and recycling. 211 is twice a week trash, yard waste, and recycling. Tip and fees are those fees that we get charged at the gate of our transfer station for our disposal, whether it be residential or commercial or on our recycling side. Transfer station is a facility where we take our stuff to. From there, it is transferred to a landfill. The city itself does not bring it to a landfill. A hauling company does that for us. In a landfill, late ad, but I think we kind of all know when we see one, kind of what they are. Current state of pickup. The city currently serves around 10,000 accounts, plus or minus. There's about 9,000 residential, 1,000 commercial. We provide a 111 model, once a week, residential trash, yard waste, and recycling. Our commercial service that we have varies by dumpster size and frequency of pickups a week. And all the city garbage collected is hauled directly from our trucks to our transfer station that is Allied Republics, that's located in the Industrial Park CTP, however you want to title it. And we are currently in year 4 of 5 of that hauling disposal contract with Allied Republic. This is our fleet. First truck that you see there is a knuckle boom. That's our yard waste and bulk household machine. That's the mattress getter from the calls and emails that we get. The second one is a residential side loader. That's what picks up our, the majority of all our residential and residential canned garbage and recycling. And then the commercial front loaders in the backside. The sanitation fund is it's a city enterprise fund. We get that all the time. What is that? It's an enterprise fund is that relies on user fees and not on property tax. So it's basically self-sufficient on the amount that you pay on your bill. It's not ad valorem or anything else like that. We currently collect around plus or minus for this year 5.3 million in revenue. A lot of those expenses going out, I'd say the majority are tipping fees as a pass-through, and then around 801 million annually is transferred back to the general fund. This is a 6% franchise fee is what we pay back to the general fund, cost allocation, and then debt service for the field office complex building. What is that? It's like a rent, basically payment for the square footage that solid waste uses on the new building. So, last month we were asked to come and bring a proposal for additional day of garbage pickup on the residential side. And in response to that, we got going, being Jerry Gunn, Public Works Ops Manager, and we came up with 3 items that we wanted to cover on that one. One is just like you guys hear, like with Famous, with the round amount, like the no build, right? The no build in this particular case is keeping the same once a week pickup. Solicitation proposals, RFP for trash services is the second one, and then having the city move to a twice a week pickup model. So keeping the same once a week pickup service, we know what that kind of entails, right? Your service style remains the same. There's no large scale service. It is status quo on that end. Your residential rates stay on the same projected path, commercial, same projected path, cost allocation and all that. Same, right? But that's not why we were here. We wanted to hear different things. RFP for trash service. It was one of the options that had been floated around here maybe for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 months or so. One thing to remember about that is, I think Jason said a little bit, if that was something we had to absolutely be committed to getting rid of the service if that's the route that you went. It's not just a price check. All the price check stuff is available for municipal rates. You guys have seen them sometimes in the backup of the agenda. You know, the solid waste companies and carriers, they don't want to put pen to paper if they're just going to get price checked anyway. So we absolutely would have to be committed to getting rid of the service if we did go RFP. You can see from the backup and some of those rate comparisons, generally speaking, it's the most expensive option. If not residential, some both, commercial. You know, our residential side is unique because residents both, right? Commercial guys usually get left with the bag. There would be service style changes, we know. The knuckle boom is kind of unique to our area. That would probably go away. Side rear loader would be a question. Backyard waste, you know, some of our residents like not bagging their leaves and all that. What to include? So when you got down into deep with the RFP, franchise fee percentage, methods, personnel, I mean, it goes on what we wanted to include, right? And the deeper you go and the more custom you get, I think you whittle down your responses to, right? So you're getting into maybe scaring people off as well. So if you didn't have a competitive bid for trying to take care of all the unique stuff we had, it would probably not be the best, you know, benefit. And then our transfers to our general fund would be potentially a loss of upwards of $1 million that our cost allocation would give back to our general fund. Twice a week option, when we came back down to it, service style remains the same. Those commercial rates stay on the projected program rate schedule that we have. So there was no front loading back on commercial rates or moving, you know, prices here or there. The residential rate that we had come up with after utilizing our rate consultant and us going back and forth with operations is $29.12, which is up from the $27.13 that is you're paying right now for a residential rate. Cost allocation and franchise fee transfers to the general fund remain the same. And this could be implemented as soon as October 1, 2026, we feel. And I got questions at the end if you just let me go. Sure. Yeah, I should have said that. 2-day pickup options, you can see, we hear a lot of Destin's contract, we hear a lot of Crestview's contract. We also included Okaloosa counties. I think that came up last time in the council meeting. And you can see just right from there, this is quick comparison, but that's residential. We have commercial rates listed below, right? Every one of these accounts is unique. There's different things that people do. Franchise fees in some places at 3%, 6% when others. There's lots of moving parts in all this. It's really hard to get at apples and apples, but economies of scale, and these two are definitely economies of scale that we have comparable to the city. And as you can see, upwards, some people, if you just transpose one or another, you're looking at, 2 yard and 4 yard, which we had roughly, 400 customers? 500. Anywhere from, 100 or 75 to potentially, 200, 300 extra a month, right? So anytime we look at that gives us a little, it's just hard to pass on the customer, we would feel bad for. Staff recommendation wise, what we had looking back, and I think Logan had asked to bring it back and it was the council direction, but we feel, we recommend implementing a twice a week residential garbage pickup program. At $29.12, that is the most cost-effective option that we've seen. And you're not impacting the commercial customers to carry that load as well. As service remains under our operational control, I think Jason said it earlier. It fits with the Cleanest City initiative. We're still in the midst of our hauling disposal contract, right? So there's no termination of convenience or something that we have to get Mr. Burns to go through. And then no current impact to transfers to the general fund at a time when general fund wise, it looks like, with the stuff that's going through Tallahassee, it put us back even further. That's where the rate puts you. I know it's kind of small to see on there, but $29.12 is what's proposed. All those others that are there, and all those others are current year. So they're gonna either experience a CPI or some type of step increase probably at that time of October 1, whether it's September, October, or January. Implementing it, after going through, we have a way that we feel like tackles everything. Your existing, on the residential side, your existing residential pickup day will be your second day, right? So whatever day your recycle is, either Thursday or Friday at this point in time, will be your second day. And then the city will move the existing recycling zones to smaller recycling zones that we had throughout the city. The service start date of October 1 is really for us to obtain a few things. One of them, just educating people. We know launching stuff like this, it's better for us to have really good public information. We know Devin is one of the best, but it's going to take some other things. Billing cycles, budget prep, and then we're waiting for a new truck delivery-wise, which would be July?
May or June.
May or June. So those are the existing recycling days. Those of you who've lived in the city, which is everybody, up here on this board is either Thursday or Friday. You would split basically 1 of 4 days on that side. So, the education is really more on, what your new recycling day is, as opposed to, your trash was. Questions that we had were available. David, I think you had some, but having said that, recommendation is for the city to implement a 2-day-a-week garbage at the rate of $29.12 and for a potential start date of October 1, so we can get to budget prep and everything else.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Schmidt, you want to lead it up?
Yeah, awesome presentation, Danny.
Thank you.
It's, even being up here for a period of time, it's neat to see those rates and that kind of comparison. But just to highlight that, can you confirm that those rates for Destin, Crestview, and Okaloosa County on this chart on page 192, so for that 2 times a week in Destin, it's at $29.80, Crestview $38.76, and then Okaloosa County Waste Management $37.27.
Yeah.
So that puts us at from our shareholders, our residents, increases the level of service, but we would still be the most inexpensive program in town.
Yeah, like I said, they're all a little bit different and it's hard, but basically on the 2 day a week, you would have the best mix of residential and commercial that you have. Cinco Shalimar, smaller, franchise commercial, way up, right? So Ben, let's take Ben for example on that end. Ben might get that, $2 residential, but his commercial price that he has right now stays the same. If he has another one, he might get, which they're still cheaper on the residential side, but if his, rate was a little lower, say Shalimar or Cinco, but then he's paying $200, $300 extra a month on his business, you know where that's going. So
Yeah, so there's commercial rate deltas is, like you said earlier on the presentation,
remains.
they're the ones that get caught with or held
Usually.
the money bag.
Not in all cases, but we'll say usually. I would say it's a business practice.
Yeah, for sure. And those are the ones, the commercial owners are the ones who normally get held with that. And it looks like the rates are still substantially lower with our increased level of service. So that was the only question. I just wanted to confirm and make sure that those rates on page 192, everybody who doesn't have those rates, I think that's a value added to our shareholders who've seen
And
that. Go ahead,
Okaloosa
Danny.
County is a non-franchise commercial area, right? So it's open market. So their cost of their pickup is the cost of their pickup, basically for their resident.
Gotcha. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Other questions? Mr. Berry.
Okay, I have concern about the increase, even though it's only $1.99, it's still $1.99 for 2 pickup. With many, many Airbnbs, and I have a new Airbnb in my neighborhood coming in, I suggested that they go rent a second trash can and be charged for that, rather than people such as myself and others that rarely fill one garbage can every week, unless we're cleaning out the house or whatever, but on the whole. And I know it's only $1.99, but it's the fact that we're paying extra for people that has more garbage. And I oppose that. Thank you for your presentation.
Mr. Mayor.
Wouldn't that charge or that cost of that second trash can, isn't that roughly around $80?
For
a second can?
Right.
I mean, to Mr. Berry's question, and rightfully so, she's got some concerns, but I guess the math I was getting ready to back into, that $2 delta would probably be cheaper than getting a second can, correct?
Personal choice. For some, we have some that have, how many additionals?
Up to 5.
We have, I think, one of the properties you have has up to 5. They probably would still need I'm assuming they would still want additional or need additional, but they might not have 5. They might have, 2.
I guess what I'm just trying to support I'm for the additional service coming with the $1.99, but her concern, I was just trying to get some response from a cost perspective. It may be more costly to get the second can than it would be to go up $1.99 is what I'm trying to respond to.
It is.
That's it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So they can pay for my $1.99 and everyone else's $1.99.
Right. Get the new can, it'll be more.
Anyone else? Mr. Walker.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, great presentation. I was trying to get a big picture of it to understand it, and it sounds amazing that we can go from 1 trash pickup to 2 trash pickups, no additional personnel?
Correct.
And the overall cost, so a resident right now, let's say it's $80. I heard you say $80. It's $80 as it stands right now for once a week, correct? Or $70. It doesn't matter, pick a numbers. $70 for once a week pickup right now. And
$80 for an extra can, or is that 80 cans?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
extra can.
I don't know what my residential trash pickup cost is. Is it?
$27.13.
But my bill comes in, my bill is $27 at my house? Is that what I get paid, get charged?
Correct.
And under the new scenario, if it's adopted, it's going to go to 29?
29.12. Yep.
That's the amazing part to me, that no additional personnel, twice the pickups for $2.
Correct.
It's an awesome team.
It is. I mean, and I have to question, why haven't we been here sooner, I guess?
Well, I think that's a good question.
Yeah.
And I think, just to back in on that one, we do, in our fleet replacement cycle, right? You guys last, I do believe September, I think it was September where we approved a new trash truck, right? So where that landed on a replacement schedule was another side loading vehicle, right? So if we were not in that schedule, we probably would have had a different price because we didn't need a new truck. Well, our truck's going to be here in July, an additional one.
Gotcha.
So that's not any change on that end. So luck of the draw where you're landing on is something. There is no extra personnel because we're going to reclass the personnel for a ASL driver. We are taking them off the knuckle boom, so that's where that goes. So we're already visiting your house twice a week to pick up a can.
Yeah.
One of those is going to be garbage. So the introduction of the smaller recycling zones is really what we're paying for on that side. Also in the last 2 years, we didn't know where we were going to revisit this because we didn't know where the state of recycling was going to be. Okay. It wasn't until WM built the MRF, right? The recycling MRF in the industrial park that it kind of stabilized our environment. Because there was a time where we launched recycling and then thought we were going to have to roll it back. Then we're like, okay, back and forth. Those of you who've gone through our ECUA contracts remember that. So with the threat of it always maybe going away, you would have been no cost back to 2-day week pickup if it did. So launching it, at that point in time, I think the first time that we really felt confident was here since that facility has been built. So the cost-wise, like I said, lots of moving parts, but where it stands right now with the environment that we're in, truck replacement schedule, all the factors we go in, it's not me running a rate through here. We spent through our rate consultant, right? Somebody professional to do this, and this is where we landed.
So 2 more questions, thank you. So when you went to that truck to begin with, I was thinking, are those vehicles not going to double their miles? Because we're not sending, the recycle truck by, we're actually sending a trash truck by twice that only used to come by once. So are we doubling the mileage?
Not on the vehicles that are picking up you already.
The side trucks.
But a new truck will come into a smaller zone with smaller mileage per day, really.
For that second, so they're going to pick up trash and recycle with one truck? I'm trying to
The side loads pick up both, but your first day of pickup is whatever you are, Tuesday or Thursday.
Right.
Your second day is, we're already there, but it's going to be picking up trash.
You're already there with a trash truck?
Yes.
The same truck is picking up trash and recycling.
It's the same size of vehicle.
Yeah, I just, in my head, I can't figure out how they're not doubling mileage of what they've previously been traveling during the week.
Yeah, a new truck on the road is putting on different mileage, but it's not, all in the same day that you have on that side.
Gotcha.
It's broken up towards a week.
Still don't understand, but thanks for trying to explain it. And then he can explain it to me, can't understand it for me. But and then the last one, it's something I've always been curious. I saw you had written franchise fee. So is there a franchise fee on the trash bill?
Yeah, so the city charges the solid waste enterprise fund a franchise fee, and it's 6%.
Okay.
I do believe Destin's is 3%. I do believe Crestviews is 6%. They vary around. I don't know a tally. We try to do as much research as we can, but yes.
Do you know if that, because the franchise fee that I've known has been related to the electric bill, and that's through FPL. it's not related to that franchise fee. I mean, it's not, the premise of that franchise fee is or is not the same as the Florida Power and Light franchise fee.
I would say it's different because it's built into the rate.
Okay.
You don't, I think on the FP&L one, you see it on the bottom of your bill.
Right.
Because they're smart, right? They're going to pass through. They're going to be like, here you go. This is what that is. Ours is built into the rate on that side. Total.
But FPL doesn't actually, well, they do. They just collect the fee on our behalf, right? The FPL, the franchise fee, so that the city won't open a electric cooperative. Is that correct? Okay. But this franchise fee on the waste management is not so that we won't open our own trash. Because we do. We all have our own trash. So I was interested to see you.
Yeah, the fund gets charged that, but we don't come around and say your rate is, Mr. Walker's rate is 29 or 27.13, and then also a franchise fee on the bottom. We don't do that.
29.80 is going to include the franchise fee.
29.12.
29.12, is that what it was? Okay, gotcha. Okay. That's it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else with questions here for Mr. Dan? Seeing none, anyone from the public wish to speak on this item? Yes, sir, Mr. Rennie, come on up.
Mayor, Council, Rob, 313 Kepner. So looking at the numbers, there's approximately 9,000 households. The average count is 2.35 per household for Fort Walton Beach. 5,200 are owned, 3,500 are rented. As Mrs. DeBerry mentioned, B&Bs are becoming more of a tipping point. I ride about 20 miles a week through the neighborhoods on this community, and I do see in my own mind in the last 2 years that B&Bs generate a tremendous amount of garbage May through September, particularly on 3- and 4-day weekends, national weekends. And my thinking was that twice a week may be too big an answer to a smaller problem. So I was wondering, why don't we charge or ask those people who want additional garbage cans to pay 49% of the cost? That way the city still owns ownership because they're contributing 51%. There are 27% of the households have children. So is it the households with children that are generating garbage that need 2 cans, and the other 75% of the households do not need 2 cans, so therefore 1 day a week would still work, and then just have houses, B&Bs, the people with 5, would, slow down the truck, yes, but not slow it down enough that you need to make a second run. So sitting here in the audience, I was saying to myself, if you gave people an opportunity to cost participate on a second can, how many would we actually add to the route, and what would that do to the route versus just doubling it? I think that we are responding in a very robust way at $2 a month more, but I think you may have 75% of the households say, I don't need to pay $2 a week more because I'm still only taking my garbage out once, whereas 25% would say, oh, $2 is great because I'm hauling 2 or 3 cans out. So I'm not so sure we have the parameters to make that large a decision because we still need some data. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Mr. Anyone else from the public wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, council, you wish to take any action on this item?
So move staff's recommendation.
Second. Motion made by Councilman Browning, seconded by Councilman Schmidt to accept staff's recommendation on this item. Any additional comments? Mr. Brown?
I'm loving that we get to keep it in-house for $1.99 more instead of seeing it go out and potentially gone up. Had a lot of conversation with people in my neighborhood over this past few weeks who are, I won't say terrified is the word, but not wanting to go with any other option. I do understand. I have a large household. I have 5 children. I pay for extra trash cans. I'll probably still continue to pay for extra trash cans because I still don't think 2 times a week would be enough. I'd like to see it more, but yeah, I brought this I brought this up to prevent it from going out. I did not expect our numbers to be so great, and for $1.99 more, and keeping the services in house and keeping that, it's just a great deal. So that's why I'm going to support it.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Schmidt.
Yeah, a lot of credit to our team to get to this point. Obviously, sometimes competition breeds concepts, and sometimes concepts turns into reality. And here we are tonight with a higher level of service and not much extra of a cost. And I don't even think we really hit on too much the environmental impacts of, you know, trash being left out in the heat for a week compared to trash being left out in the heat for 3 days. And we need more subject matter experts, way more than I am on that. But that's an added value, I think, too, that other municipalities get around us for that 2-day-a-week pickup, and we're at that 1. So glad about the level of service increase.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak on this? Councilman Jeter.
Yeah, Mr. Browning said it best. We're getting a great service for a price cheaper than we expected, so I will certainly be supporting the motion.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
I was looking at the comparability, and I think you did a great job in comparing, and I'm just really amazed at the fact that, you know, we have a lower rate, and with the 2 days, I certainly support it. I've spoken with people like Councilman Browning have spoken that really would like to see the 2-day service. So thank you so much for the presentation, and I'm supporting it.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Council, please vote. And the motion does pass 6-1. Which brings us to item 13.3. Procurement process for annual audit services. Ms. Name.
Thank you, Mayor. About every 5 years, we have to go back out for the RFP for audit services, and we are up and due. This last audit will be presented in April, and then after that, we will have to have a new 5-year contract. So really, this just starts the process. It's a process where we have to get an audit committee together. Staff is not allowed to be on the committee. I can be an advisory and basically facilitating the information, but we need someone from the governing board, the council, to be the head of the committee. And then I think it's it's at least 3 members need to be picked for the committee, which we can do today, or we can bring back and let you guys think about it and think about who in the community that you guys would like on this committee. What the committee does is you evaluate the proposals. There'll be 2 or 3 meetings which we'll set with the committee to determine before the bid goes out. And then the bid will go out and it'll be posted. And then the committee's recommendations will come back to council, and council will ultimately still have the decision of who to pick for it. Warren Averett has been absolutely amazing. They've been through different company changes, so like through their names in the past 30 years, but they pretty much have been our auditor for the past 30 years. They've won the bid every single time. They're awesome to work with, a really great firm. But we also, if you guys remember, did open up the local preference now. So it's not just Okaloosa County, it's a surrounding county. So that gives other firms maybe some more opportunity to also bid on this contract as well. So I guess if anybody would like to volunteer from the board to be the head of the audit committee, I don't know how.
If you want to ask them to do it tonight, it's fine. I'll just add that this is a sunshine, technically a committee that has to govern under the sunshine, which means that they'll have to take minutes and obviously notice their meetings. So that's just maybe an additional factor you want to consider.
Councilman Jeter.
I would love to volunteer.
There we go. We got the head.
So moved, Mr. Jeter is being on this committee. Second.
Motion by Councilman Schmidt, seconded by Councilman Browning to nominate Councilman Bryce Jeter as the head of this audit committee. Any additional comments?
I'd like to add a friendly amendment to my motion if
Mr. Browning's okay with it, but also too, just procuring some of the community members tonight. Hopefully we can speed up the process to get this thing rolling so you don't have to come back to another meeting, or would we have to ratify the community meeting in public, or would that?
Certainly take another motion to nominate anybody.
Yeah, if you guys want to pick community members tonight, I mean, I'm okay with that too, but there's nothing saying that you can't.
It might be
so we don't have to worry about it.
Do the first motion, then make it.
Okay, I guess the question I'm getting to is, do you need in the sunshine for us to ratify the community members, or the person that we appoint, can they go ahead and just appoint the community members without bringing it back to council? I'm just trying to speak
I
up.
think we have to bring it back to
So,
council,
let's do
yeah.
that.
So but we could do it tonight if you wanted, or wait and bring it back in the next.
If we didn't have to bring it back, I would trust Mr. Jeter on getting the community members, but if we got to bring it back, I'd like to add that tonight.
Okay.
Good with that, Mr. Brown?
Absolutely. Okay, so motion and a second. Council, please vote. Does pass unanimously, and then we can entertain another motion to nominate anyone that you might want to from the community for this committee.
I'd like to nominate a couple, John Mead and Georgia Henderson.
Motion made by Councilman Schmidt, seconded by Councilman Browning to nominate Mr. John Mead and Ms. Georgia Henderson. Is that correct?
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
I know Mr. Mead lives in the city limits. Does Ms. Henderson also live in the
She
city?
does.
Okay.
And then we need 3 people, so I don't know if Mr. Jeter wants.
A minimum of 3, so
Minimum
we
of
all
3.
can nominate if we want to.
There you go.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. We'll vote on those 2 that Mr. Schmidt has included in this motion. What?
Yeah, public comments.
We missed it last time too.
Do we need public comments on something that's not noticed?
Every motion under the city charter requires public comments.
I'll keep that in mind. Next time you tell me it's the other way when I do it together. So, anyone from the public wish to comment on this? Seeing none, council, please vote.
I'll take that. It's not every motion, it's every item. And this is basically a new item, not the nominations. It's items.
Anyone else wish to make a motion to nominate anyone from the public?
I make a motion to nominate Pastor Tim Black, who prayed for us this evening.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Browning, seconded by Councilman Schmidt to nominate Pastor Tim Black. Any additional comments? Anyone from the public wish to comment? Council, please vote. Does pass unanimously. Do we know that these people will serve on this?
That's what I was going to ask.
Let's find out.
I guess we will.
Need to find out.
Motion to nominate Steve Colorado.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Walker, seconded by Councilman Browning to nominate Mr. Steve Colorado. Any additional comments? Would anyone from the public like to speak on this? Council, please vote. And look at that. We've got 4 members of the public for the committee, along with Mr. Jeter is 5. Do we need any additional members for this committee?
You only need 3 total, so you got up to 5.
Would anyone else like to nominate someone that lives in the city limits for this committee? Seeing none, we will move on to item 6, to the relief of Mr. Nathan Sparks, Executive Director of One Okaloosa Economic Development Council. Mr. Sparks, I sincerely appreciate you staying. If in the future you have to leave, we certainly would have understood. But thank you very much. We do appreciate your time.
No worries whatsoever. Thank you so much, Mayor, members of council. Nathan Sparks, One Okaloosa EDC. Haven't seen you in mass this year, so Happy New Year officially. I was last before you on October 28th. And obviously it's been a frenetic pace to start the new year, and you all have a memo that I prepared and submitted to Ms. Barnes, which really encapsulated the entire last half of the year, dating back to the July timeframe. But I really wanted to highlight some of the activities that I thought you'd be most interested in since I was last here. So just to kind of dive into that. Since I was last here, something has come to light relative to the Eastern Gulf Test and Training Range. And you know, through One Okaloosa EDC's defense support initiatives, we've been working to advocate for the protection of the Eastern Gulf Test and Training Range for many years, and you all have been part of that in many cases, as have so many members of our community and our region, our elected leadership at the highest level, the governor, members of Congress, et cetera. And what we learned in November is that the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, which is part of the U.S. Department of Interior, had released a proposed leasing plan for a large swath of the Eastern Gulf test and training range that essentially would open up the Eastern Gulf of America for drilling and offshore oil exploration. And you all know how problematic that is to our local economy, our regional economy, and our national security interests. So we have been working, along with so many others, to get the word to the right people in the right way. That is not a good idea. Of course, you know, back in 2022, President Trump, in his first term, passed a 10-year moratorium on oil drilling in the Gulf, which goes through 2032. And we want to see that honored. And we'd love to see it extended. We'd love to see the Gulf protected for perpetuity, because you know how important it is to our two largest economic engines, being tourism, hospitality, and of course, defense and military. So we did assemble and also receive a number of letters from community partners, individuals, community groups, et cetera. In total, we have about 24 letters in a package that we prepared. And if you ever want to see what we're up to with respect to these matters, militaryfriendlynwf.org is a great resource. We try and put a lot of information out there, but we're still beating the drum. The comment period closed on January 23rd. So it's effectively closed now, but we think we got a lot of information in the right hands, and certainly our Florida congressional delegation and our governor and others have stepped up and, no surprise, also taken up this mantle. So we appreciate everyone who's been a part of that. So also wanted to share on a little bit of a brighter note, back on November 18th, we had the opportunity to co-host our Educate the Educator +1 event right here in the city of Fort Walton Beach. We started our day at Career Source Okaloosa Walton. They're a great partner. We've been doing this together now for more than 10 years. And in fact, this was our 10th Educate the Educator event. And we had a great group of students, 22 students and teachers in total from South County schools, middle schools, high schools. And we had a great group of partners that day, including Mr. Davis representing the city. He did a fantastic job talking about career pathways within the city and his own journey, which I learned a lot about Jason that day in terms of his progression to get where he is today. So that was great to kick things off. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University was our host for breakfast. And then we had industry tours of Magna Manufacturing, Kratos Defense, and Boeing Global Services, all in the Fort Walton Beach Commerce and Technology Park, and all fantastic facilities that were incredible hosts and really did a great job inspiring our young people about the career opportunities that exist right here. And that's the idea of this program, as you know, is to really plant seeds for those young people to think about, even if they go off to get educated somewhere else, coming back here and making their future careers here. So a great day, and really just certainly appreciate everybody who was involved, including Mr. Davis. To continue on, I also had the opportunity in November to attend the National Defense Industry Association's Air Armament Symposium at the Convention Center here. This is an event that brings industry and key leaders from the Pentagon and other senior places around the country here that are here for, this was the 49th NDIA Air Armament Symposium. There were over 1,000 attendees, so it's really a fantastic opportunity to have right here in our area. And for us, we see it as an opportunity to showcase our community. So we had a booth along with all of these other defense organizations, and we had some great discussions with companies that are already in some cases doing business with Eglin, in some cases they're hoping to do business with Eglin and Hurlburt, and we want to have them keep us in mind should they choose to move forward with an actual physical location. So a great opportunity for sure. And then I did have the opportunity to see many of you at the Precision Measurement Incorporated, the PMI open house back on November 13th. That was a great day for the city. It was a great day for PMI. You may remember from prior presentations that we helped PMI secure a grant from the University of West Florida so that they could migrate into a new business line, which was essentially doing calibration calibration services for law enforcement personnel, including your police department here. And so having those calibration services for vehicles right here in the city, we think is a really great opportunity. I know that, we'd heard from law enforcement personnel that oftentimes those vehicles had to go out of county and they were out of service during that period of time, and that was just not an optimum situation. So kudos to David Haynes and his team at Precision Measurement for the vision to offer those services locally. You know that they're doing calibrations on Air Force One, the Air Force One fleet, the presidential fleet. So they're top notch and just a great company to have right here in our community and growing by leaps and bounds as we saw that day. So to see their new facility and to see several of you there to help them celebrate was fantastic. And of course, Representative Maney was part of that as well. So the other things that I'll point out, in your packets, you've got our 2025 accomplishments sheet, which is kind of our precursor to our annual report that will be released here in a couple of months, but we wanted to go ahead and have something as a interim report for you all. So this summarizes sort of our year in review. A lot of great things in different buckets, from supporting existing industries to recruiting new industries to supporting workforce development like we do with our Educate the Educators, working to assist entrepreneurs with their ideas like we do with our Veteran Entrepreneur video series. Our most recent one, of course, featured Tom Rice from the Magnolia Grill and various things in there. So I know you will enjoy reviewing that if you haven't already. And then a couple of events. So you have a flyer for our 9th annual Techman Industry Day, which it's hard to believe we've been at this for 9 years now, but this is an event that brings together usually about 400 or 500 people from not just our area, but from around the country. We'll have an expo hall with 50 or so exhibitors. We've already sold 37 booths. We've already sold all of our sponsorships. We're selling registrations and hope that many of you will take advantage of the fact that you all as elected leaders have discounted admission to this. It's $25 versus the $75 for our members, or $100 for the general public. That starts with pastries and ends with a reception. And some great information throughout the course of the day and some great networking. It's not just for techies or those in manufacturing. It's really a great opportunity to learn about what makes our region tick. And we always have excellent feedback. In fact, this past year, we had 100% of our survey respondents tell us that they would recommend the event to a colleague, and 95% of those who attended said that they identified a new business opportunity as a result of participating. So that's pretty strong, and we want to continue to deliver in that realm. So, and then last but not least, you don't have a flyer for this, and you're the first public partner to hear this. We just finalized this just a couple days ago. But we're hosting our first roundtable luncheon of the year on March 31st, and we'll begin promoting that here in just a few days, but you all are hearing it first, along with your viewers online and those in the audience. But March 31st at the Hilton Garden Inn on Okaloosa Island, we will be hosting President-elect Manny Diaz, who should become official here in just a couple of days as the president of the University of West Florida, and of course our own President Mel Ponder from Northwest Florida State College. We're doing a fireside chat with those two dynamic gentlemen who served in the legislature together and now are leading two of our most important educational engines here in our region. And having them together on stage with that chat is a really fantastic opportunity so early in their tenure. As you know, President Ponder started last January, so he's been in office about a year, and President Diaz is brand new. So I think it's a great opportunity, and those events are open to anyone to register, and certainly hope that you all will consider doing that. We'll open registration online at oneokaloosa.org in just a few days. So with that, happy to take any questions that you may have of me, and certainly appreciate the opportunity to come before you today.
Thank you, Mr. Sparks. Questions from Mr. Sparks? Mr. G.
Question, can I comment?
Yeah, please.
I just want to say thank you for all of your presentations. I look forward to seeing you on the agenda. I know Councilmember Schmidt does a great job of representing us on your board, and he thoroughly enjoys it. But I've been to a lot of events outside of here, and they're all first class, just like your presentation. So thank you. I look forward to seeing you on the agenda. Love seeing and learning and hearing about all this stuff, even though it's not stuff that maybe is day to day that we can see, touch, or feel. But I know you and your team are working very hard behind the scenes to get some awesome stuff done for our community. So
thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Couldn't agree more. Anyone else?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
forgot the most important part.
What's that?
He was the opening night of Citizens Academy, the first presenter for the entire
I was.
series.
Yes, he was.
So,
I
yes, he kicked it off, so yeah.
I was honored to be asked. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Sparks. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, yes, sir.
kind of piggyback off what Mr. Jeter said, always professional, always enjoy the thorough presentation. Also one of our recipients of the grant that the city gives out. We may already be doing this, but if we could continue to invite the Emerald Coast Fitness Foundation as well as the Chamber or one of the representatives from that grant recipient so we can see more of these type of professional updates that were.
Chamber was supposed to come tonight. They're going to come on the second night, so I didn't know how this was going to be thick, right? So they'll be first night in February. I was also going to recognize Mr. Corcoran for speaking that night as well. He was number 2 in our Citizens Academy.
And like I said, we're probably already doing these things. I just don't know if the Emerald Coast Fitness Foundation and the Chamber are responding as good as they are responding. I wouldn't expect them not to. But thank you for your attendance always being thorough as well as the professionalism. But I'd like to continue to see those other two as well.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Believe it or not, that brings us to tonight's consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I only have one question about one item, but I can pull it off. If you wouldn't mind pulling item 7.4, just a question for staff.
Second? Okay, so you move Councilman Walker to approve tonight's consent agenda minus item 7.4, which you'd like to remove from the consent agenda to be discussed directly after.
Actually, exactly like that.
All right. That's Councilmember Walker's motion, seconded by Councilmember Gtak. Any additional comments? Anyone from the public wish to speak on the consent agenda?
Plain it safe.
Council, please vote. Councilman Schmidt is not here to vote, so we would think he'd vote no. Just a guess.
It's a consensus without him.
Okay. All right, so the motion does pass. Councilman Walker wanted item 7.4 pulled, so that is a task order to Adura Group Incorporated for line locating services. Luckily, Mr. Daniel Payne is still here and can address your concerns.
Right, and this is where we used to do this in-house, correct?
That's correct.
And then was last year our first year or the year before our first year?
Last year, we transitioned to last full year, yes.
Right. And then I don't remember the number. So what I'm looking for is what is this cost compared to last year's cost?
It's a good question. So I think last year's cost, we had budgeted like 200, right? Mm-hmm. And I think at that point in time, we, not getting in a little of the city intricacies, but like we needed help before the year, so we had a couple purchase orders out there. Mm-hmm. But there's 200 budgeted and we covered it and we were fine. Mm-hmm. This year, we even we needed some help and we carried some money over. So this total amount is for 285. Mm-hmm. But in all actual reality, we've already paid like 60 of that on that side. This is for the whole, encompassing the whole year, because now they're a general consultant, and previously we just piggybacked off the county because they were the county's consultant. Now they're actually a part of our team. So we're project this year 285 total maybe, but really, and that's what the whole year thing is for, but the request is probably around that 225 mark.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that answers what you're trying to.
A little bit. I was just really, I knew that we had personnel in-house that weren't able to keep up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, or hire them. Yeah.
Or hire, keep, all those things were involved. Sure. And so we were doing it at a cost in-house. And then when we went out of house the first time, it was a kind of a big leap, but it was okay. They're going to supply it and they're going to do it. And now we're going up to, so is the proposed 285 from them? I mean, we're going to pay them 285 if.
Yeah, so it's time, it's dependent on how many tickets came in, right? Okay. So last year,
estimated tickets, I got you. So theoretically, if fewer tickets come in, you wouldn't reach so they're charging a per ticket.
Yes, it's a per ticket deal. So so we had a pretty good lull for a period of time. I would say it was regular. Well, then we have Cox doing a fiber project. We have a gas company, and then we're back into, looks like tickets all over the place. But yeah, it's an estimate, right? It's time and materials up to. If we don't use it, what we do is we carry it over into next year, and that's what we saw for this year on that end.
Just out of curiosity, and then kind of around the mound, if it ever happens, will someone else be providing? Will we be responsible for paying to locate the utilities, or will that be a part of the DOT's services?
So it's Florida statute, right? So that call goes in, we're statutorily obligated to locate our utilities. Now, if it's a certain type of ticket, a design, then we just give them our information. But if it's markings on the ground, yeah, they're going to mark them.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else with questions on this item for Mr. Payne? Ms. DeBerry.
Okay, I have a question for clarity. When you say line, this is underground lines?
I'm sorry, yes. The city's water and sewer and storm infrastructure, yes, underground.
Okay, I know whenever it was those companies for networking or something like that, they were having a hard problem and they were digging into our lines and, so.
It's a daily, unfortunately, it's like a daily, weekly thing.
So do you have any control over that, where they're digging or?
A little bit, yes. But, and that's where some of this stuff comes in on the risk management side too, because they take pictures of all the markings as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else with questions for Mr. Payne?
I want to follow up there. Just so estimated, it comes in $50,000 over. Is that something you come back to us for?
Yes. I mean, it would.
And if it was under, and that's fine. And if it's under 250, there's $35,000 left in there. What happens to that $35,000 that's been funded? Been budgeted and funded.
Yeah, if it's already cut as a purchase order to them, either it gets canceled, or Nicole and them at the end of the year, they say, hey, do we need to carry anything over? And that answer will probably be yes, and we carry that over, and then you pay off that, and then you're going for the rest.
That was interesting. You said, so do they get that 285 cut to them?
No.
Okay. It comes to us up to 285, up to $285,000. We're like, okay, you're still good. After that, it becomes, hey, where am I going to get the money? But if it comes in, they didn't consume all of the money, then that money stays.
Right. So of the 285 now, like we've cut about 60.
I got you. You've only cut 60. I got you. Okay. Thank you.
It was really because it was going to go threshold amount through the rest of the year.
Got you. Thank you.
Do anyone else have questions? Anyone from the public wish to speak on this item? Council, do you have a motion to make?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve staff recommendation.
Second. Councilman Walker makes a motion to approve the task order to Ardura Group Incorporated for line locating services in the estimated amount of $285,000 for fiscal year 25-26. And Councilman Jeter seconds that motion. Any additional comments? Council, please vote. Okay, that does bring us to mayor and council comments. We start tonight with Councilmember Brown.
Mr. Mayor, I think in December I asked for staff to get in touch with the state about youth council. Is there any updates with that, Mr. Davis?
I'm sorry, I was reading an email.
Youth council, is there any youth council updates?
Yes, so I reached out to the school board before Christmas. They had their Christmas break. They got back to me like last week that they are interested. I just haven't, I asked them to provide some scheduling so I could go physically meet with them. I just don't have a response yet, but that, I'm guessing any day now they're gonna give me their availability.
Will you keep me in the loop on that? I'd like to go with you if possible. And then I just want to thank the business owners and the nonprofits that were involved in Fireman Leonard's event, the community convoy that we had. I know Mr. Mayor was there, Ms. Barnes was there, Chief Page was there. It was incredible to see. I mean, probably by the time it ended towards at Harley Davidson, I'd say probably 500 people were there. I don't know what the final count was on how much money was raised for the family, but it was incredible to see. So thank you for the business owners, the nonprofits, everybody who was involved with that. That's all I have for now.
Thank you, sir. Ms. DeBerry.
Yes, I'd like to thank the recreation staff for our road trip to Niceville, the senior center there, the happy place, so that they could see more of what I'm working on to have more. We have a similar, very similar activities, but I would like to see more in our area. We had a very successful AARP safe driving class for, I think we had 39 people there. And it was an all-day event, but you get a discount even though it's only like 10 or 15% on your car insurance. And for us seniors, and a lot of you guys are getting up over 50 now. And I notice a lot of people driving not so nicely, not just the seniors, but others. You know, maybe they need to take the class also. But I hope to have more activities such as that, you know, so, and I thank you. And thank Wendy for me also. And then I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. DeBerry. Mr. Jeter.
I'll save for the end.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Merrill. Ms. Riley. Mr. Schmidt's not here. Ms. Walker. Or, no, I'm sorry, Ms. Walker.
So, yeah, that's right. I was thinking we're only going to have one, but we're going to have two still. Okay, I'll save it till the end. Yeah, thank you.
I'll save mine to the end as well. That moves us to public comments. Anyone from the public wishing to comment on anything that's not on tonight's agenda, please come on up to the podium, give us your name and your address, and then you'll get 5 minutes to tell us whatever you want, as long as it's not on tonight's agenda. Mr. Gray.
My name is Barry Gray at 217 Vernon Avenue. I own several companies in the city of Fort Walton, janitorial and building maintenance company and a development company. At the last meeting, I felt uncomfortable leaving here. It was like some of the board members was like, you're giving me something. You know, what you are, they create affordable housing. But I want to say tonight, 45 years ago, the city came to my family for land to build a stormwater on Lovejoy. We didn't question that because they wanted to better the traffic going into Herbert Field. You know what we did? We turned around and gave the city our land free of charge with my aunts, uncles, all of us did. So the city had our land for over 40, 50 years. We've never complained. And there's been time when the budget has just been cut. And you guys subbed out a contract, the lawn service out. And so for the last year, it's not getting cut on the edges. So we go out, we pay somebody little, we do it. So not one time we ever went to the city, complained about it, or not get it done. You know, on Bay Street, on my aunt, you needed a stormwater facility over there. You know what my family did? Donated land to you guys. So when I felt at the last city council meeting, I felt like you're looking at me like, oh, you want something from the city, but we've always given back to the city. Always given back. Every time I bought a house in the city limits, I turn around and contact the fire department or the police department to go and do training. The house we bought at 105, before I tore it down, the city was able to bring the fire department to practice a fake fire. I've contacted this next house on 103 Carson. I'm making arrangements with the police department and the fire department to do training before we tear it down. So, and for the last 30 years, I've done environmental research in the Lovejoy community. Not one time have I ever came to ask the city or the county for one penny. I spent over $150,000 in my own pocket doing site studies, stormwater studies. I got studies in my office this high. Not one time I asked anybody anything. The Brownfield designation for redevelopment in the Sabine Heights community. I didn't ask no government for anything. We got the Brownfield designation. We got the opportunity zone in the Lovejoy community through the Trump administration. We didn't come to nobody. We came to the county with that plan for the opportunity zone. We got it to Tallahassee to get it to our governor. We are the only opportunity zone in Okaloosa County. Me and Mrs. Riley was able to get that with the county. And the first major redevelopment in Pennsylvania Heights was on Tiller Street, 74 units with a pickleball court, swimming pool for seniors. The rent is set at $474. You know, we did that. We pushed those things. In the Lovejoy community, the worst thing hurt that community was the Central Tract. Because when you talk to Tallahassee 5-6 years ago, they'll tell you the Central Tract, our houses were $400,000, $200,000. Because in Tallahassee, they don't look at neighborhoods by name like we do. They look at it by Central Tracts. So the Central Tract had us included with Emerald Village and also Northgate Estate. It took me 20 years. I didn't ask anybody for no help. I did it with that young lady right there. We went out, we pushed to get the Central Tract changed. Now it's Lovejoy and Central Tract so we can apply for grants. You know, we try to come and partner with the city and the county. So the last meeting I was at, I left out here wasn't feeling right. Because I never asked anybody for anything. I'm a solution person. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else from the public wishes to speak tonight? Seeing none. That moves us council to item 10.2. Resolution 2026-03, amending Resolution 2025-29 rules of procedure for City Council and its meetings. Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Mayor. At the last meeting, the council, by motion, moved to amend Resolution 25, the rules of procedure for the meetings, and they requested 3 changes to be made to the previous rules. And the first change was to amend Section 6.1 to remove the second set of City Council comments towards the end of the meeting. So if y'all do pass this tonight, tonight will be the last time y'all have the second set of comments at the end of the meeting. The second change was to amend Section 12.2 and to go back to requiring a supermajority, which is a majority plus 1 vote to suspend the council's rules of procedures during the meetings. And then the third change, the final change, was to add a new section, which I figured out Section 13 would be the most logical place, sitting after Section 12. And I had to kind of go back and listen to the council meeting a few times because it was a little bit unclear exactly as to what, I know what Mr. Brown had asked for, but throughout the discussion it was a little bit unclear. So I took my best stab at adding a section that limits certain directions that may be directed to the charter officers by the council members. And I'm not married to the language I came up with, so if y'all want to rip it apart, it's a good chance to do so the night before it gets passed. And so I believe the first 2 items completely accurately covers what y'all moved to amend, because those were very simple motions. The third might not get it, and so I want to get some feedback from y'all now if you want to make some changes to it.
Gotcha. Questions on this for Mr. Burns from the council? Questions now or further on your piece?
To Mr. Burns, you said?
Yes, sir.
Because we'll make a motion and then there will be discussion, correct, amongst ourselves. Because I wasn't here last week. I wasn't here at the last council meeting. I'd like to note that. Sure. But anyway, I do have some questions about the procedural changes.
Which would be a great time right now to ask them.
Oh, I thought we had, not to you per se, but I guess who made, well,
Mr. Brown made the motion, but we're not
there yet.
Questions amongst council people.
Right, we're going to wait.
If you have questions that you'd like to ask of Mr. Browning, ask them to Mr. Burns. You know what I mean?
Mr. Burns. So, seeing that the amending Section 6.1 to remove the second set of City Council comments towards the end of the meeting, how do you feel about council members not being able to comment on the things that happened during the meeting? It seems that that's an appropriate time to, come back to items that happened throughout the meeting and share your thoughts or whatever at the second one. If you have council meeting comments at the first, we've not heard all of the arguments and discussion throughout the meeting. So I think, how do you feel about the second set of council comments being removed, how it might affect the council members' abilities to express their thoughts on the events and happenings at the meeting? It's as close as I could get. Wow, that was hard. I'd have rather just gone straight to him. But
I'm neutral. The council moved to remove the second set of comments at the last meeting, so I simply deleted the one line in the previous set of rules and procedures that had that in there and had that. So that's all I have to say on that.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else with a thinly veiled question for Mr. Burns? Seeing none, anyone from the public wish to comment on this item? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning, Morgan. Williamson, Rosemary. It just seems, if you're going to get rid of one of the times for you guys to make comments, it seems to me it's logical to have the first round canceled, because of, like Councilman Walker said, you have all the things from the previous meeting. So just get rid of that first one, and it's essentially the same thing.
Very fair point.
Good idea.
Anyone else from the public wish to comment? Mr. Davis.
Just to speak to that logic, I think some of the feedback that I got when I started here was after consent, staff leaves. So if you get rid of the second one, the team might not be here to ask the questions. That's why that was counted.
And if I may add, as the driving force behind putting the second round of comments on the agenda in the first place, I thought it was a great idea, because when you do attend a committee or some sort of event that you do want to get in front of the public, it's much more likely that we'll be speaking to a room full of people here during the first round of council comments. By the time we get to the end of these meetings, sometimes we're at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. People may be gone, not watching, and especially if they're watching back online, they may not be watching that far into the video. So it's really a great time to get those important things out. So that's why I always enjoyed having the two opportunities. Most people on the board, since its inception, have not taken advantage of both opportunities to speak or be long-winded or weigh down the length of the meeting. That's as far as I can go without stating my own opinion. So, those are facts, but I appreciate the comment. All right, so we have given everyone an opportunity to ask questions. We've had the public comment. Now, do we have a motion from council?
I move for the approval of Resolution 2026-03, Rules and Procedures of City Council and City Meetings.
A motion made by Councilman Browning. Do we have a second?
Second for discussion.
Second by Councilman Jeter to approve Resolution 2026-03. Additional comments? Mr. Brown?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Jeter, comments?
Yeah. I said for discussion because what you just said makes sense. I didn't think about that last time. When you have, and I remember being in here when you changed it and gave us two, and I remember wanting to speak sometimes when some directors were in here. And I know we just talked about this 2 meetings ago, but just like Nathan Sparks or someone may come present next meeting, weighing out now how many times we say save for the end and it only taken 20 seconds to go down the line, and weighing out the fact that you can comment positively in the beginning and then comment on the meeting at the end of the night as we close the doors. It just makes sense to leave both of them. I know we discussed this a lot last time, so I won't discuss it anymore, but that's why I'm not going to support this motion, because I'd like to see that unless he would accept the friendly amendment, I won't support the current motion. No, we discussed it enough last meeting.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Additional comments? Councilman Walker?
Just to agree with Councilman Jeter there that, yeah, I mean, I won't be supporting it unless there is a friendly amendment. The other two, I don't really know what they're even for. I don't know when they've come into play. I don't know about suspending the rules. I don't tend to follow much. If I do, I'm just doing it by accident. But so I do like the idea. The few times that I've used the first one, it's been something that I want to share with everybody that's in here. There's oftentimes the youth that are here. I don't want to occupy their time with some of the serious stuff. So, I like having them both. I think they're appropriate to have them both. And like Councilman Jeter said, we went through it really quick. Anybody got any comments? Nope, save it to the end, save it to the end. So I'd like to see that one removed by friendly amendment if Councilman Browning would allow such.
Anyone else wish to comment on the motion?
I'll comment on it. I mean, I'm kind of torn between the friendly amendment portion because, one, we debated on it for 30 minutes last time and it didn't come up. And then even today, we just skipped to the end. So I get on one hand, well, it just takes 2 seconds to go down the line, but also it's 2 seconds wasted so that we could have just gone down. The proposed motion was to have it at the end and to get rid of the beginning, and then I was asked to amend it to bring it to the beginning and get rid of the end, so I did that. And then now it's like, well, let's just amend it and do both of them again anyways. So I figure we just write it out and see what happens.
Fair enough. Anyone else wish to comment? Councilman Walker.
Yeah, then, I'd follow up. As I said, it wouldn't be getting my support because of that. So, but just since you're the motioner, you would be the one most able to describe the value of amending section 12.2 to require a supermajority vote to suspend council's rules of procedures during meetings. It may have happened in my 2.5 years of being here, and then I was here for 5. I don't remember them ever being suspended or motion to be suspended myself. What is the relevance or what's the point of making that change to begin with?
So by Robert's rules, technically you're supposed to ask the question to the chair of the meeting.
Okay.
Which would be me, and I can certainly explain it to you. Robert's rules of order, when they're suspended, we're basically just saying, hey, we're not going to follow the normal guidelines and procedures here during this one particular item. So by making it a supermajority, it's just making it harder to make that the case. So instead of just a normal majority vote of 4-3, we're asking for 5-2.
Well, that's interesting then. So,
one more thing, but just the practical effect of that, Mr. Walker, is typically in a lot of other boards do it more often. Y'all don't actually do that very often, but usually it's to add an agenda item during the meeting that was not contemplated prior to the meeting. Boards will suspend the rules to add an item. So that's the practical, that's the best example.
Gotcha. And what I'm checking, because I didn't participate in the last conversation and what you said there, when you told me earlier I needed to ask questions to Mr. Burns, that was very difficult. Right. It was very difficult because I would prefer to go to Mr. Browning because I believe my goal up here is to have great conversations even if we don't agree.
Right.
So anything that stands in our way, and if that's going to stand in our way, if I have to now ask a question to Mr. Browning through you, unless we have a supermajority vote to suspend those rules, I'm definitely against 12.2.12 as well, and I haven't even looked at 2.13, adding a new section limiting certain directions that may be directed to the charter office. Don't know what that's about, but anyway, so want you to know I won't be supporting this at all, no matter, even with a friendly amendment now.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to comment? Council, please vote. So, Ms. Barnes, for the purposes of this, Mr. Jeter is voting as the seconder, but...
You can vote no. It won't allow you there, but I can change it. So if you tell me which one you want.
Second, but no.
I'll see if I can change it. If not, we'll just do it.
Motion does not carry.
Mr. Mayor, so I move to adopt resolution 2026-3 with 2 sets of comments in the beginning and end as current.
Okay. A motion made by Councilman Jeter, seconded by Councilman Walker to approve 2026-03 with those changes. Any additional comments?
And that includes the additional 2 items as well, correct? You're adding the second set of comments back on, but you're also adopting the other 2 items
Correct, yes, sir.
What's, Mr. Mayor, because I seconded that and it was without that understanding, I don't know what the proper procedure is to remove my second.
You don't have to. You say-
Because I can say no on it. Gotcha.
Okay. Councilman Merrill did offer to second
Okay.
place, but we'll stick with it. Any additional comments? Councilman?
With this, I'm fine, we talked it out, but I talk the least, I think, when it comes to the comments. I like to send it on through, but I wouldn't want to limit if I get it. You want to say thank you, you want to recognize the people here, and you guys do bring up a good point to have that. Now the meeting's over, and there might be some things that need to be brought up. But we have discussed it, and the other two that I brought up, I think we've gone over. If anybody else has questions, I'm sure they'll bring them up, but as we move on, I wouldn't want, even though I don't like to speak that much, I wouldn't want to limit you guys if that's your goal, so.
Thank you, sir.
So following up on that understanding, the 12.2 requires supermajority, Robert's Rules of Orders that you talked about. So unless there's a supermajority vote of council from this day forward, should this pass, all questions should be directed to you unless...
Councilman Walker, that's always in Robert's Rules of Order. It is rarely enforced by the chair of this meeting because I don't like to be a complete and total
Gotcha.
over the top person.
Gotcha.
But when I say things like what we're looking for here are questions for Mr. Payne, questions for Ms. Neighbors, that's not the time for the council to give long-winded opinions on what they think about it. It's the time to ask questions. Now you can, as a skilled orator, certainly ask questions that are really just opinions. Mr. Payne, wouldn't you say that we run a great trash service here in the city? Mr. Payne, wouldn't you agree that it's best? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's the time for questions. Then we have the public comment. Then we have a motion. Then it's time for everybody to say, hey, here's how I feel. Mr. Payne's a jerk, and I don't like his green shirt, right? Before it's, hey, Mr. Payne, don't want a jerk in your green shirts. So that's Robert's Rules. I mean, in a nutshell, very briefly. I try not to be like over the top and enforcing that. This is actually not changing any of that.
Okay, that's what
this is always the way it's supposed to be.
Gotcha.
However, this would say, now we're going to suspend Robert's Rules. To do that, it's going to be way harder, or at least one vote harder.
One vote harder to, as you said, Mr. Burns, what was the example you used for that suspending of it? We've got a meeting, an agenda's been published, and one of the members up here, through discussion, decides that it would be a good idea to have a vote on an item that's not there. Supermajority vote would have to take place so that the member could put it on, suspend it, and then put it on the agenda, then come back under, and seems like it's
really more real world examples, at least in this room, that we've used in the past where, say we're having a discussion where a council member has added an item to the agenda, and then we just want to have a discussion about it, rather than have council members ask the chair or a representative. Everybody just wants to have a nice, good old-fashioned discussion.
Sure.
And I like that, and we've participated in a lot of those. That would be a suspension of Robert's Rules as well.
Gotcha. And when I'm looking at these to support or not, it's like, what was the problem to begin with? And I still haven't heard what a problem was to begin with that would warrant an additional rule or procedure up here that may inhibit conversation. So I'll be not opposed. I'll not be supporting it. Thank you. Second, but yep, get ready for your little no click over there.
All right. I believe everyone's had a chance to speak.
Just a second. Just a comment that there's nothing that has happened that has made me want to do that. It's just kind of standard across most municipalities. As you mentioned, it's probably, I don't think I've ever seen it done working here or being up here. It's just, when I was looking through it and coming up with things that change, I noticed that it was just majority vote. It's standard, usually supermajority vote, so I just threw out the change. That's it. No secret sauce to it.
Thank you, sir. All right. Council, please vote.
I hit second and you do the no? Or do I hit anything? Ms. Barnes?
You hit second, and then she does the no. again, it does pass 5-1. 5-1. All right. So that brings us to ordinances on second reading, I believe. Is that correct? Ordinance 2194, an ordinance amending the Land Development Code, Section 5.04-11, Community Residential Homes. Mr. Burns.
Ordinance 2194, an ordinance to the City Council of the City of Fort Walton Beach, Florida, creating Section 5.04.33 of the Land Development Code to update procedures for the review and approval of certified recovery residence requests to comply with Florida statutes, providing for authority, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is second reading. It's a quasi-legislative hearing, and Mr. Gibson will present on behalf of staff.
Tim Gibson, Growth Management Director. So again, this is just the second reading on this one. This is all stemming from Section 397.487 of Florida statutes that was amended last year that requires us to adopt procedures for this. We've received no comments or input since the first reading. And with that, staff respectfully recommends City Council adopt ordinance number 2194, which adds the Land Development Code Section 5.4.33, certified recovery residence, to be consistent with amended Section 397.487 Florida statutes.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Questions from the board for Mr. Gibson on this item? Seeing none, anyone from the public wish to speak on this? Council, do you wish to take any action tonight?
So move to adopt ordinance 2194.
Second.
A motion made by Councilman Jeter, seconded by Councilwoman Riley to approve ordinance 2194. Any additional comments? Council, please vote. That motion does pass unanimously, which brings us to item 11.2. Mr. Burns.
Ordinance 2201, an ordinance of the City of Fort Walton Beach, Florida, establishing a temporary moratorium on the enforcement of the requirements for short-term rentals set forth in Section 8.13 of the City Code of Ordinances, created by ordinance number 2181, providing for findings of fact, providing for a 6-month temporary moratorium, recognizing pending litigation over the constitutionality of SB 180, recognizing that the Florida Legislature may consider a bill modifying SB 180 in 2026, providing for severability, providing for an expiration of the moratorium on July 27, 2026, and providing for an effective date. This is second reading, and Mr. Gibson will present on behalf of staff, and I can answer any questions as well.
Mr. Gibson.
Yep. So this goes back to April of last year, where the ordinance was passed to start adding some regulations on the short-term rentals. As we all know, SB 180 came out, was passed by the governor, which basically puts this entire ordinance in jeopardy. So this is really just a legal framework to say that we're not going to enforce it. We have not been enforcing it since SB 180 was passed with this one. I just want to add a really quick side note on this one. One of the things that is in this ordinance is the requirements for extra trash cans for the short-term rentals. I know that came up earlier, so that would be in there if we ever get to enforce this. Again, this is a 6-month moratorium on this one. If SB 180 is overturned or we're allowed to go ahead and implement stuff, we can always come back to council to remove this moratorium and start enforcing it at that time. And with that, staff respectfully recommends City Council adopt ordinance 2201 to enact a temporary moratorium on the enforcement of the requirements for short-term rentals set forth in Section 8.13 of the City Code of Ordinances, expiring on July 27th, 2026.
Thank you, sir. Questions for Mr. Gibson on ordinance 2201? Mr. Walker.
Is this really just, if I understand it right, it's simply kicking it, it's keeping the framework in place down to July of this year to wait, find out what happens regarding the lawsuit? Is it a lawsuit or just
there's multiple things going on. There's a lawsuit that could put it in jeopardy. There's multiple things going through the legislature right now that could either overturn the whole thing, redefine certain words in there, exempt the panhandle. There's a lot of things that could make it so that we can start enforcing this. Is really just kind of
or have to prolong it. Or have to prolong it depending on. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Excellent summary. Anyone else with a question? Anyone from the public wish to speak on this item? Council, do you wish to take any action on ordinance 2201?
Mr. Mayor, so moved to adopt ordinance 2201.
Second. Motion made by Councilman Merrill, seconded by Councilman Jeter to adopt ordinance 2201. Any additional comments from the board? Mr. Walker.
Yeah, I didn't support it back then, and I won't be supporting it today. There were some industry experts that came in and spoke to us and basically begged us to do what the state ended up doing, so I'm glad that it's happened that way. So I just won't be supporting it based on my previous objections. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Romero.
I support the moratorium last time, and the reason I did it is because I also did not support it last time. And so the fact that we can at least delay it, maybe it makes it back to the table. So I know you're not supporting the ordinance. I would hope you would support the moratorium, which does give it more time before where it's not enacted. So
I'd like for it to fall apart myself.
Well, this keeps it 6 months down the road.
That's right, but if we voted today, no, it would fall apart. And that'd give me my goal, which was that it never implemented, so. That was
If you get the majority, you can make that.
Oh, I've given up on that often. Let's be honest.
Anything for me that keeps it going down, because I did disagree with it as well. So.
Gotcha.
But,
All right. Anyone else wish to speak? Council, please vote. And it does pass 5-1. Which brings us to appointments. Ms. Parker.
Thank you, Mayor. On the Fort Walton Beach Housing Authority, Mr. Anthony Sawyer has been a member of the board since February of 18. His current term expired on January 13th of 26, and he has expressed an interest to continue to serve another term. So staff respectfully recommends the mayor, with the approval of City Council, reappoint Mr. Anthony Sawyer to the Fort Walton Beach Housing Authority Board for a 4-year term to expire January 13th, 2030. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone with questions for Ms. Barnes on this item? Would anyone from the public like to comment on this item? Would anyone from the board wish to make a recommendation on an appointment?
I would like to.
Please do.
I think I misunderstood that. Let me call that back, because we've already recommended Anthony Sawyer.
We have not yet, no. We had questions and we let the public speak. Now,
I thought you were,
now we want a recommendation.
Okay, well, I would like to recommend Anthony Sawyer for the position.
Absolutely, a nomination and recommendation from Ms. Riley and seconded by Mr. Jeter for the reappointment of Mr. Anthony Sawyer to the Fort Walton Beach Housing Authority Board. Any additional comments? Mr. Jeter.
Is Mr. Sawyer here?
I don't believe so. And Ms. Sansberry also apologized that she wasn't able to be here.
Well, I would like to make a comment.
Please do.
I just wanted to thank Anthony for the work that he's done. I've known him for quite a while in the community, and I think that he's very committed to his work. He's committed to to the communities, and I know he'll do an excellent job. He's been doing a good job, and so I would love to see him continue working with Ms. Sandisberg.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wish to comment? Seeing none, please vote. Ms. Riley, you gonna be the mover?
Yeah, I hit it. Okay.
All right, there we go. It does pass unanimously, 6-9. That brings us to item 13.1, action, direction, and discussion, consideration of a development agreement for Ashton's Place. Mr. Burns and Mr. Gibson.
Mr. Gibson will present on this.
It does say that it's quasi-judicial.
Oh, that's correct. It is quasi. And so the first thing we need to do. I do need to ask each council member if you've had any ex parte communications with any members of the public or the applicant. And Mr. Browning? No. Mr. Barry? Mr. Jeter? Yes, sir. Mr. Allegretto? Mr. Merrill? And Mr. Walker? Yeah. And Ms. Riley, I believe you've indicated you are going to be abstaining. Correct. And Mr. Gibson, can you raise your hand? Please swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay, sir, you've been sworn. And I know Mr. Gray as well, if you're going to be talking and all too, raise your right hand. Please swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Gibson.
Thank you, Mayor, by the way. So.
The development agreement for Ashton's Place. This is a 3-unit development. As was mentioned, this did come through City Council at the last meeting, the first reading of this, as well as the approval for the development order for that project. that was approved on January 13th. The total grant amount for this is $150,000. At the first reading of this one, Mr. Gray did make the recommendation or the request to City Council that instead of 100% of the grant money being granted at the completion of the foundation for the work for the project, he was requesting 25% of that money be granted up front at the completion of the development agreement, and then the remainder be at the end of the foundation survey. I did work with Mr. Burns on that when we did make the changes in paragraph 4 of the development agreement, which now basically states that at the completion or the approval of the development agreement, $37,500 of the grant money would be awarded on the approval of this, and the remainder, $112,500, would be approved or would be issued at the completion of the foundation work. And pending any questions, staff recommends City Council authorization to execute a development agreement between Development LLC and the City of Fort Walton Beach.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Questions from the board for Mr. Gibson or Mr. Gray? Mr. Walker?
Mr. Gibson, I think this is the one that Mr. Gray came to us at the conclusion or at the end of the last council body, I guess, and we'd already approved the money out of the housing funds, correct?
So, yes, correct. So the tentative assignment we've done there where there were the 3 different applicants and everything.
Right.
To formalize that, they'll require the development agreement. Florida statute requires us to bring any development agreements to 2 readings before City Council. So this is really just the formalization of what was already kind of earmarked before, if you will.
Great. Okay, I was making sure I wasn't missing anything. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else with questions for Mr. Gibson or Mr. Gray? None. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this item? Mr. Gray.
Barry Gray, 217 Brand Avenue. I want to thank the council for the opportunity to apply for the funds. I know Mr. Walker always say the free market. If you've been on Carson lately in 3rd Street, we acquired the property at 103 Carson, which was a SORI, a lot of code violation. Someone's running a mechanic shop out of a piece of property. That property is being cleared as we speak. Mr. Rittenhouse already started his 6 units, and Jenkins Engineering right now is designing us 6 units. We purchased that property. So we have 3 units going in at 105 and 6 units going in at 103. The free market, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
But I thank you guys for the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anyone else from the public wish to speak on this item? Council wish to take any action tonight?
Mr. Mayor, so moved to adopt the consideration of the development agreement for Ashton's Place.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Merrill, seconded by Councilman Walker to accept staff's recommendation to execute a development agreement with Development LLC for Ashton's Place multifamily workforce development at 105 Carson Drive Southeast. Any additional comments from the council? Mr. Jeter.
Thank you again, Mr. Berry. And when you get these units done and get your CO, they don't do a lot of ribbon cuttings for commercial or residential doors, but we're going to do a ribbon cutting for one of these doors because you've jumped through a lot of hoops to get to this point. So thanks for all you do for the community, and let's have our first residential ribbon cutting when you get these done.
Couldn't agree more, and I'd be honored to be there, sir. Any additional comments? Council, please vote. And the motion does pass 5-0 with 1 abstention. And that brings us, I think, to item 14, City Manager reports. Is that correct?
I'll go ahead and I'm going to handle an announcement for a upcoming executive session. I'm announcing that the City Council will conduct a private attorney-client session pursuant to Section 286.011, subsection 84 of statutes at a future meeting. The private attorney-client session will take place on February 10th, 2026. The purpose of the private session will be to discuss pending litigation involving the city, specifically styled Fort Walton Beach Watch Group, a political committee, and Travis Smith, an individual plaintiffs versus City of Fort Walton Beach, Florida, et al. Okaloosa County case number 2026 CA 000115-F. The private session will be conducted to discuss litigation strategy and expenses related to the case. The persons who are expected to attend the private session are the mayor,
city manager, members of the city council, the city attorney, litigation counsel, and a certified court reporter. And that's all I have. It'll be, I believe, 5 p.m. Is that the time? Okay, so it'll be 5 p.m. on February 10th. So.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Davis.
Thank you. One thing I failed to mention when we were discussing sanitation, if you have not done a ride-along with Steve on the Knuckle Boom truck, he is quite a sorcerer. I highly recommend it. Preston Hood expansion has started. If you haven't seen the clearing out, they've done substantial clearing on the property. So one, it looks a lot better, but two, moving along swimmingly. The Lovejoy cleanup went really well. We had 25, 30 people, including some local celebrities. The mayor and Council Lady Riley were there, so very nice. And noticed that we had probably close to 200 man hours in the last 6 months of the city staff just volunteering time at various cleanups and those sorts of things, so it's pretty cool. Feedback that I got, I was a borderline communist for canceling Mardi Gras, even though I did not cancel Mardi Gras, but the feedback that I got from this past weekend, the pub crawl was substantially better than any Mardi Gras that we have hosted locally, so maybe that's the business strategy going forward, but I think Mr. Merrill's company was highly celebrated by the public, so thank you for that. There is a senior survey taking place at the Preston Hood Rec Center to add programming. I think Council Lady DeBerry had spoke to that earlier, but if you want to suggest some programs that we would like to bring into the senior rec center type programming, please do that. I mean, if you're a criminal dude, so you're probably already making bad decisions, right? But for the life of me, I can't figure out why people are doing it here, because our police has just been killing it lately. So got to give some high fives there. Fire also going just full bore ham style. Saved 2 elderly residents, fought 2 fires over the last couple weeks. So just wanted to recognize A Shift, which is, I don't know these title names, so I'm just going to go with the last names. We have Abbott, Freudenberg, Sears, Smith, Southern, Brubaker, Corrigan, Conley, and Walter. Handled that fire and pulled those people out, so super cool there, right?
Yes.
I kind of put it in my weekly report. We had the CDBG fundages identified to install a neighborhood park, if you will, off of the Lovejoy and Combs. I'm not very good with the community names. As we looked at the property, there's a lift station on the property, there's a pond on the property that would probably be responsible to fence off, keep the kids from getting in the pool, or the pond, whatever, just for safety. It's an oddly shaped piece of property to begin with, so you go from 0.4 acres to probably 0.2 acres with the setbacks and the easements, and I just feel like it's kind of a disservice to put a playground there, and we only have $105,000 to play with. Just the demucking and the civil work will be more than that. So I had conversations just to whiteboard with the county. They have a substantial park being in, is it Eccles or Eckerd Street, right around the corner, Miss Ray? Echo, okay. So it might be better to take our $105,000 and partner with the county. They do not have playground equipment scheduled for 2 to 12-year-olds, and that's what the community came back with, saying, hey, we want playground equipment for 2 to 12-year-olds. So we might get more bang there and be a good partnership for the county, but I would need some direction from council, because the direction from council right now is to build a playground on that existing property. So I'm just kind of looking to you for some guidance there.
Anyone from the board wish to direct there, Mr. Jeter?
Yes, sir. We discussed that earlier, and I fully support that. Anytime we can partner with Big Brother and still accomplish what we were trying to get done, it's going to cost us more than what we allocated to build a park where we wanted to. So I would certainly support partnering with the county, and even if there's any extra money left over, to make sure there's a nice path to get to it, since it may not be in the same place, it may be around the corner, but would always support that, and the money's still going towards the park, which is what we originally wanted it to go towards anyway.
Gotcha. Anyone else? Ms. Rowland?
I'm kind of, I'm very thankful in the sense that the county, they are going to do a park, and I know that they're going to move forward with it, and it's probably going to be really nice. Looking at the park on Combs, and I'm totally 100% in agreement. I was at the meeting and listening to the voices of the people that live in the area and would be the ones that would mainly want to benefit from the park area. I was very excited about it, to put in the park there. But on the other hand, if the money is reallocated, in a sense that would be fine. I was just, love to see something, if that's not going to happen, if it's not going to go through with the county, I would like to have the little path and maybe the picnic table that was suggested in the meeting, fire pit, or a little small walkway. Remember what they had discussed, a little small walkway, and maybe, I know it's a swing set or something. Somebody, I think you had mentioned about Destin Elementary School or middle school donating equipment, playground equipment. But I would love to see something of that manner, something small but not extraordinary. But if it don't work out with the county, I would just like to see something, reallocated there.
Yeah, and then I forgot to mention, there's another property that's way more appropriate for a neighborhood park that would require the demucking on Burnett and Lovejoy.
Corner Burnett and
Yeah,
Lovejoy.
so, we could potentially look into buying that. Obviously that money can't be used for that, but I think that I'll still track that down. Even on that oddly shaped parcel that we currently own, I think we can still do something there in an out year. I just don't think the 105 is enough to do anything that would, I feel like it would be a disservice almost.
I totally understand that. I was just thinking if there's a glimpse there of something where it doesn't work out, I'm sure Mr. Peters will make sure it'll work out.
Yeah, I think on the back end, we might be able to partner in a different capacity on some of those other parts. So yes, good.
Right. And that was a good idea too, and I don't know if you all were aware, but we had approached the city some years back about the Burnett property, Lovejoy and Burnett Street. We had actually had a really great plan together, and I know the Miss Burnett, the mom, she ended up passing, but that was something that she was pushing for, and her son, once she passed, I know the colonel passed before she did, her husband, and he came down and kind of squashed that a little bit and said, no sale, but that was on the table. We had approached the city about doing that.
And that parcel, going back to the community input meeting we had, there was a request, a high-level request for a splash pad and a couple other things, and that would fit on that parcel. It would not fit on that parcel that we couldn't have, so we could do something beefier on that part if we could move in that direction. I think that would be...
Understandable.
Yep.
I'm just happy to see a park.
That's right.
County.
Anyone else wish to provide any direction on this? Okay. All right, I think you're good, Mr. Davis.
Good, all right, so I'll reach out to Jeff Peters and I'll circle back. And the final thing, I did have an entity reach out, public records request for that 3% white paper that I've been working on as we've navigated the cap issues. So you may start getting some calls if that does go anywhere, but that's just the issues that we're running into, that I would eventually, at the end of the fiscal year, we'll know all those impacts, but I would turn that over to ICMA and FCCMA so other communities can see what that real impact is. Just want to plant that seed. That's all I have.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir. City Attorney reports.
And before I discuss the reports, there was something I actually brought up to Mr. Davis earlier that probably, if there weren't so many things on the agenda, you probably would have thought to add it, but we got some good news on the Steamboat Landing property. I talked to the magistrate who was assigned by the court today to actually marshal the property and get it ready for sale. He got assigned 10 days ago, and he indicated that he's basically in total control of the property, and his job is to get it marketable now, because the judge entered a judgment giving him that power. When he heard that the city council and the CRA board have both numerous times in the past indicated that they want to have that building demolished and they're willing to pay for it out of that nuisance abatement fund that the CRA board controls, he was like, surely that's not right. There's no such thing as a free lunch. And I explained to him, like, no, the city has done this a couple times now, and they are willing to go on there and demolish the property. And in return, you need to sell it and make sure there's no other code violations on the property, but they will demolish it, make it safe, and so it's not an eyesore anymore. And he is ready to sign the contract as quickly as he can. He would still want the judge to sign off on it. And he asked if y'all are still in support of it, I might be required to appear in the next few weeks at a hearing just to confirm that the city is actually supporting this and answer any questions that the judge does have. And so I would assume unless I hear something otherwise tonight, that still the council's mission is to demolish that building, correct?
Yes.
I got a question for you on it. So just not being intimately familiar with, I know the place you're talking about back there that's got that building on it. It's been on there forever, and they've graffitied it, and there's a old abandoned pool and that kind of, the building's abandoned. It was my understanding but the HOA was in a legal battle with insurance company from the storm.
So what's gone on over the last few years, there's actually a timeshare owners association. There were, I think, thousands of owners actually.
Okay, I got you.
Ended up reaching that. So what happened is the building was not livable. It was condemned. And a situation like that, the same thing would happen if it was an owners association in a condo, but it's even worse if it's a timeshare situation. All those timeshare owners own fractional interest in the property, the dirt. But the only way you can corral them all together is to actually file a lawsuit. And so the old owners association basically, like somehow or another, filed a lawsuit against all the owners to start this process. And it's required, and it requires a judge certifying them as a class representative, and then so they can then market and sell the property. Otherwise, it'll sit there forever and ever. So that's actually what this lawsuit was about.
Right, and then that took me to the next step. I mean, we as the city / taxpayers' money, that abatement fund, is that what you said described would be used to tear the building down? They, in order to sell it, they're not willing to tear it down themselves, or was this just a carrot that we were putting out in front of them?
The CRA board numerous times has indicated interest. I think even one point I might have voted at least once to move forward with doing it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. Thank you.
And regarding the city attorney reports, initially I was going to just give some updates on the new litigation that was filed against the city, which we just announced the executive session for that the Watch Group filed. But now that litigation counsel has been assigned by the insurance company, I will leave any updates up to him when we meet on the 10th. So,
thank you, sir. All right, final council comments. We start with Mr. Browning.
So I want to try, I don't know who to direct this to, either you or you, but him. Okay. I want to see, I'm interested in seeing if there's any orphan land, any orphan parcels between after Shalimar Elementary School up to the gate of Eglin Air Force Base.
That's probably something me and Mr. Davis can work on if you're looking for.
Yeah, if you can bring that back, that'd be great.
What's the parcels in here?
I have no idea.
No,
Oh, after Shalimar, all that land that becomes Eglin, if they're willing to sell any of it up to the gates of Eglin Air Force Base.
Okay.
I think I do remember there were some discussions probably a year ago at least when the Eglin Air Force Base put out a map saying there were certain parcels that they were maybe going to offer up. Are those the ones you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I have to give a shout out to my 7th grader because I missed her last soccer game tonight. I don't know what the score is. I'm assuming it's over, but I hope you won. Go Megs. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Barrett. Mr. Jude. Yes, sir. Mr. Merrill.
Mardi Gras was a success. I think you mentioned us running it like that. There's interest, I think, on both ends, from the businesses down there to the Mardi Gras organization, that specific one that we work with. So we may like to see it get even bigger, make a whole thing of it. Maybe even a golf cart parade. Obviously, there'll be conversations that will be had from that. But yeah, we would love to kind of take that on. I think it was everybody on both ends was happy. And to Mr. Gray, to your personal comments from earlier, I agree. I've sat on the other side as a business owner, and sometimes you feel like what's happening, what are they thinking? I feel like the city, and I'm not saying anybody up here isn't or is, but I feel like the city needs to be business friendly to people that are working well with the city, that have earned that reputation, that continue to come back. We need to be open to the people that want to start out when they first get it. And I've seen a lot of good things from the city, and I've seen some things where it's frustrating, and I'd like to see those things get streamlined. But yeah, as a business owner, as an individual, when the city has a deal and we see that deal through, it shouldn't be a well, look what, you mentioned it, like we did something for you. You did it. You did it, and the city's blessed to have people like you and other businesses in here that drive and develop the city. And I think from the comments I hear is a very for that type of thing board. And so I think, maybe we need to do a better job sometimes of showing that up front. And that's why when you asked for that, I thought it was a no-brainer to give it to you. And I'd like to see us develop that personality, that culture up here, that for what becomes a business-friendly city, because I'm on the other side and I've heard in some instances that it's not, and then I get on this side and I've sat in the offices from a business person where I argued, and then I've learned both sides, but I think there's a way for us to get better at presenting ourselves as a business-friendly city, and I as a council member will continue to work.
Thank you, Councilman. Ms. Riley.
And on that note, I'm going to piggyback sort of on what you're saying, because I wanted to say to the city, first of all, Mr. Davis, Mr. Chen, Mr. David, Wendy, your staff at the rec center, and I just really appreciate it, because I want people to understand too that the city is here and we're concerned about our constituents, we're concerned about our residents. And when you open the door and the opportunity to listen to what the residents want, I think we're on the right track. And I think it's kind of falling a little bit with, a business-friendly city. I want us to be the type of city too that we listen to the voices of our residents. We gotta listen to our residents and listen to what their needs and their wants and their desires, because they are tax-paying citizens and they deserve that. So I wanted to tell you all, thank you for I enjoyed going to the CDBG meeting. It was open for the residents, open for the public to come, and I thought that was just a great thing. I love town halls, meetings. I love people being able to express how they feel and how they want their taxpayer dollars to be spent, and that was a great opportunity. And so, just again, thank you all so much. Wonderful presentation. Wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Riley. Mr. Walker.
Thank you. Reading tonight this afternoon before coming out and going into the executive session we went into, I was reading through the deeds and all. I'm just curious, I've not seen it, and I don't know if it's here. I saw it reference a World War II vet's plaque at the entrance, or is anybody familiar with the plaque to the lot that was a part of the deed requirements that the city?
There's some plaque over here where there's a eternal flame or something, but
Daniel's hand went up, Mr. Payne's hand went up.
If you know, come up.
It was referencing Fort Walton Beach veterans of World War II that came back. Is it out here somewhere?
Yes, it's over there. And I don't know, because my wife's grandfather's, but it's right over here.
By the fields?
No, it's in the front. It's down
by that eternal flame thing?
Yes.
Right in front of the auditorium.
Gotcha, internal flame. Okay, great. I just saw that. I was like, man, I don't know that I've ever seen it. Okay, thank you.
Ceremony there just a couple years ago.
Okay.
Mr. Maney came out and they did a huge ceremony.
Great, I'm gonna stop by and look at it. Thank you. And speaking of plaque, leads me into, Mr. Mayor, you had mentioned a plaque honoring former city council members, because it's gone back so far. And staff, and all recognizing those. And I know, it seems like I brought this up one time before, even preceding those leaders in the community who've been here, will be here, and it's going on. But, I think when we put up a plaque, I'd love to see an acknowledgement to taxpayers. It comes from taxpayers. I mean, with our leadership and previous bodies, but so if we could include some form of recognition to the taxpayers when they fund something when a plaque goes up, as great as this body is, the taxpayers are really appreciated too. So if we could do that. Mr. Browning, you had mentioned orphaned land in Shalimar. Not sure, obviously, what the purpose or intent of that would be, to ask staff to look for some orphan land north of us. Can the city buy land that's non-contiguous to city property?
You can buy land, whether or not it becomes part of within the city limits is probably not, but it all depends on where exactly the land's located in comparison to the closest city land. I don't know if any of it abuts Kenwood or anything like that, so we have to figure.
Yeah, because I'm not sure exactly. Are you talking north on 85 on the north side by the school, going up through there, like near the
Fast shop.
armament museum kind of stuff?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, just wherever is available, and then we bring it back and discuss where, like he said, how close is it to the city limits?
Gotcha.
What we can do with it. I mean, not Shalimar, but all that becomes Eglin as soon as you pass the elementary school, so.
Gotcha.
Just see what's out there.
Gotcha, okay, thank you. And then David's not here, and I had hoped to be able to ask about it. I saw recently an article by the one of the news organizations in Okaloosa County dealing with the bridge remodel and all, and its cost. And I emailed you, and thank you for your response. I got it late today, but I was curious if anybody up here knows or is willing to take a stab at it, because I've heard several different takes on it. But when I inquired with the DOT regarding the PD&E and the design of the bridge and the redoing of the roads and stuff out on the county side, and I found out that county residents, of which we're one of them too, did not have to pay anything towards a PD&E and or design cost. I kind of scratched my head, and I'm just, out of being the curious guy that I am, said, why does the county residents of the county out there not, it's a state road, why was there no PD&E cost borne by them, but we have our taxpayers have borne the PD&E and cost and design so far. So I'll say all of that to say that the two stories I've heard is that if we didn't do it, they were going to go through downtown, right? So we did it as a preventative measure. And then I've heard that, well, we want it to go around downtown so that it can be revived downtown. So has anybody up here, I know David being on the transportation. Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
I'm just kind of confused by what you're saying.
Sure.
You kept saying the bridge. You're talking about the bridge?
The Okaloosa Island Bridge, yep. Brooks Bridge.
Okay, the replacement of the bridge. I mean, I would think that every single thing involved there, those were all borne by every state resident, not just county or state. Like, live in the state of Florida, your tax money goes to FDOT, correct? And that's going to fund all of those studies, whether it's PD&E, whether it's whatever. I think the only thing that we funded separately were around the mountain projects.
Well, it's a state road, right? We're going to reroute State Road Highway 98. And that's what they did on the island with the redirection of the traffic out there for traffic flow. And of course, last meeting we talked about the potential cost of $300 million, and then we want some overpasses and whatnot. And I was just trying to distinguish what the difference
And the difference is something that I don't know on this, but I would say if you lived in Pinellas County, you were paying for that project to be done.
And then, and I'm with you, I'm not disagreeing, I agree with you. And then I come across the bridge and there's a rerouting of Highway 98, of which the city taxpayers end up having to fund the PD&E and the design on it. So I'm trying to figure out what the distinction is, why a city is borne with those costs and when the county is not borne with costs directly. You know what I'm saying? They didn't go to the county, Okaloosa County, and say, give me a check for the PD&E study. We did. We had to do that, right?
For around the mountain.
Right. Rerouting of...
We did, but we didn't have to. I think we did to move up on a list, if I recall, right?
Okay. Is that, and that's what I'm asking, really. I don't know. Is so we're...
On the bridge thing, I don't think we did anything special at all on that. That's just, you live in the state, you pay that. Around the mountain, we did pay 2 separate times a significant amount of money to move up lists, I believe. Somebody can correct me on this.
Yeah, no,
Mr. Gibson.
So I sit on the technical coordinating committee for the TPO as well, and you're absolutely correct. So it's all about getting that state funding, and you can move up on that priority list to receive that state funding with those local matches.
I got you.
So for the around the mountain plan, obviously the city did kick in for that one. And the county did volunteer to kick in for the design phase. We were applying for some grants from the state. The city match on that one was going to be split between the county and the city on that. So we worked together. Fortunately, we didn't get that grant, but we're continuing to work with the county to see where we can, collaborate on that kind of stuff. So yeah, but it was all just to get it funded sooner.
Gotcha.
The more we get that local match in there, basically the state looks at that as saying, okay, if there's local interest in there, they're willing to pony up some stuff. Obviously, the state's going to prioritize that higher.
Okay, good, because that dispels the myth that if we didn't go around the mound, they were going to gut downtown with widening Highway 98 through there. I had heard that, and that's why I was looking for some clarity tonight on that, so thank you there. And I think the last, I'll try to finish with a funny comment. Please humor me. I know. Humor me if it's not, but in honor of procedural and administrative efficiency, would this body approve the process of in the future, instead of having to read the long motioning of staff's recommendations, can we just simply say, here, here, and that be an acknowledgement that we were making a recommendation to accept staff's recommendation? And I'll finish with that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Yeah, I have one more thing I forgot to mention. With the two schools closing, they are proposing a rezoning of schools. So it may directly affect you. Like my kids right now, for some reason, are zoned to go to school in Shalimar. It never made sense to me. But now they're zoned to go to Elliott Point, where they go anyways. So it could affect you. So just pay attention to that. And that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Good point. Just very briefly, 3 things plus. That was the 3rd time you talked tonight during the council comments. So
y'all want to keep them?
Hey, I'm just saying. I think it's.
And he directed staff.
I know. I think it's worked out really well. Wanted to say, awesome job by our Parks and Rec. The bridges at Ferry Park, brand new bridges, are so awesome. They look great, much needed, and the work was done very efficiently, and they're just really cool. Really nice work. Had an incident, not an incident, but I took my kids to the batting cages at the Preston Hood field, as we often do, just go up there, hit some baseballs, etc. I text a video to Mr. Davis and said, hey, some street hooligans have busted a few bottles out here, glass bottles, all over the ground. It wasn't even 15 minutes later, and here come 2 employees on a golf cart with a broom and a blower and cleaned all of the glass and apologized. Had no idea, I'm the mayor or you're doing this for me or anything else. They just, hey, there's a problem, let's go do it, let's clean it up, and let's apologize to the user. And then very lastly, was very happy to see tonight's vote with the trash situation. Mr. Payne and Mr. Gunn and everybody that's involved. I think that's one of the best services that we have as a city, period. I'm really always so hesitant to ever want anything to go out of my own control. And so as a city, as a collective, we have the control currently over these trash services. So costs go up, costs go down, we can control that cost. Once you start getting into, oh, we're going to let these people run it or these people run it, they can tell you what those costs are, and then you have no control of it. I thought it was awesome that Mr. Davis brought up, once you get rid of it, that's really going to be it, because we're never going to be able to afford 20 trash trucks and 2,000 dumpsters and all of those things all at one time. So really nice work tonight by the council, just working that out. Even if the vote would have gone the other way, it was a good discussion, and well done, council. Anyone else with anything else? Mr. Browning, one more time. All right, we're good. I know you can. All right, we're adjourned.